Good luck and have fun. I'll stay out. I'll let you do your thing.
All right. I will let you guys know when to start the timer. It's going to be like a weird time to start because we first have to get through a little setup here. So basically what I'm going to be doing here first, if you are familiar with Banjo-Kazooie at all, you would know that in the any percent version of the Xbox Live version of this game, they do a little thing called DDA. And basically what it does is during these demos, you are able to kill yourself. And it kicks you into like a demo file of the game. And that gives you certain benefits. In this game, what the benefits that it gives you is it gives you all the moves in the game, so you don't have to learn any of the moves. And it also gives you 25 Mumbo tokens. And the Mumbo tokens are used to you hand those into Mumbo to like turn into the different transformations. So we're gonna have to wait for all this to set up, and then once it's cheating, yes, it is cheating. But you know what? That's speedrunning, my friends. But the time actually technically starts, according to our rules, on the fade out when Banjo dies in the Castle Town demo. And it takes about 3 minutes.
For one donation before we get started?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sure, we got Sir Big Eye with $29 bringing us up to 4,069.69. And they say, for once, maybe someone will call me Sir without adding, you're making a scene.
Thank you for the dono. Thank you for the dono. Awesome, man. All right, so you kind of get a little peek at some of the levels in this game. It kind of seems like Banjo's just doing this random movement. He's doing weird things and like getting stuck in corners. It's actually because what Kirko did is he took the inputs from the vanilla demo and he inserted them into the demo for this game. So it looks like normal movement in the vanilla game, but it doesn't quite translate well into this game because the levels are designed differently. So it just kind of looks funny. But we'll just kind of see Banjo hop around and do weird stuff. And then eventually he's going to end up killing himself in Castletown. And that's when the run is going to start, like I said. But yeah, quick shout out for Kirko Mods for developing this game. I mean, he pretty much solo developed this game. He did have a couple of people on his team for like music and other stuff, but he pretty much worked on this solo. And it took him years. It actually took him, I want to say, a good 4 or 5 years to finish developing this game. He put a lot of work into it, and it's a beautiful game. And if you haven't played it yet, I strongly suggest that you should, because it's, in my opinion, in some aspects, better than the vanilla game, because it has a lot of Ocarina of Time in it, which is an awesome game as well. So yeah, big shout outs for Kirko Mods. All right, so here we go. He's gonna kill himself here, and then we're gonna start the run. So it will start right now. So this is Castletown. This is actually the second level of the game. But as you can see, we already have Talon Trot, we can already backflip, we can already do all the things that you shouldn't be able to do in the beginning. But this is the second level of the game, like I said. We have made a lot of progress in routing this game. And we've actually figured out ways to get into most levels early without unlocking them. Actually, in the entire speedrun, the only level that we actually physically unlock, I got turned around for a second there. The only level that we actually physically unlock is Zora's Domain, out of all the levels in this game. So there's 5 pots. That could be found in the vanilla game in Mad Monster Mansion. There's 5 pots that you have to poop eggs into, and then you get a Jiggy on the 5th one. So you can already see aspects of the vanilla Banjo game in this. It's just kind of spread all throughout the game. You can see the Jinjos. You can hear Kazooie's very obnoxious bree every time you jump. It's good stuff, you know? So that 765 note door is actually to unlock the final level of this game, which is Grunny's Tower, which is the only level that's not, well, it's kind of Ocarina of Time related because it should be Ganon's Tower, but it's called Grunny's Tower because you kind of have to keep with the banjo theme, you know. And you can see some of the enemies are enemies from Banjo-Kazooie, but they're skinned to look like enemies from Ocarina of Time, which is really awesome. You can see the big butt there, skinned to look like a bowl from Ocarina of Time. Just a lot of work put into it. There's a lot of detail. It's just really, really neat. Is it Rue or is it Bree though? It's like a huge debate. Is it Rue or is it Bree? You just don't ever really know. So this is Mumbo. Here we will be seeing the first transformation for the game. The one thing, and another thing I really like about this game is the creativity of the different transformations. This is a bomb bag. And there's actually something really cool with the bomb bag because as Mumbo tells you right here, you can actually fill the bomb bag up with bombs. You just have to go to a certain building right outside here to get filled up and you can actually use them. So you'll be seeing me doing that here pretty soon. Just right around the corner here. So you just pop into this door right here and just kidding. You can't actually do that. I got you guys. Rickroll. All right, let's continue with the speedrun. My chat yesterday told me that I should show you guys that for this marathon, just for the fun. So I did. Gotta bring in the Rick rolls whenever you can. So interestingly enough, the reason why you have to become the bomb bag, we actually skip most of the transformations in this game, but you have to become the bomb bag because that honeycomb piece that I just picked up there, it's actually programmed so that only the bomb bag can pick it up. So if we originally tried to get it as the broom, which is the most broken transformation of this game. If you know anything about Banjo-Kazooie, you know about the bee and how the bee is the most broken transformation. Well, the bee is actually a broom in this level, but it has the same functionalities as the bee. And that will play a big part later when we try to do RBA. I gotta make sure to get this note. So there is RBA in this game. But obviously it's reverse broom adventure and not reverse bee adventure. But it's really cool because in the Banjo-Kazooie 100% run, RBA is helpful, but it's only helpful to a certain extent, like to collect a bunch of the layer Jiggies. But in this game, it actually turns out that there's quite a few levels that you can 100% as the broom. So using the broom outside of the casual level that you use the broom in is several minutes faster. In fact, it might be even closer to like 10 minutes faster. And that loading zone that I just went in to get that Jiggy is also is only accessible by the bomb bag. So that's just another reason why we have to use the bomb bag in this round. So here you'll see the congas, except now instead of just one conga, there are several congas. So you have to be really careful to not get hit by his pesky oranges. Come back here, pretty precise egg poop into that pot down there. Not super easy. There we go. Second try is not bad. Yeah, Tyson, it's pretty much just like a redesigned MMM. When he made this game, he actually pulled the levels from the vanilla game and like redesigned them. So like each level in this game is like Like, I'm not the best at explaining this. Brad would definitely be doing a better job at explaining this if he were here. But it's the like each level in this game is basically associated with one of the original levels for the Banjo-Kazooie game, and then it's all just like reskinned and like reformatted. So over here we'll be meeting Ganon. A little damage cancel there. We're gonna be meeting Ganon here. Ganon has been trapped by Grunty, so he's in jail. Alright, and here is a pretty precise jump. I might get it, I might not. We'll have to see. I got it. Alright. If you fail it, you can just simply fall down and climb back up and kind of do it casually. It takes about, I think I timed it to be like 30 seconds slower if you fall and have to climb up the casual way. It's like 35 seconds slower, so it's really not bad. It isn't like any reason to reset, at least not yet anyway. If this game became more optimized, maybe it would become a reason to reset. But that's all we had to do over there, just get a quick Jiggy. We're coming back around, so we're going to be doing a Honey Hive clip here. You do a couple of Honey Hive clips in this run. Most of them are as the broom though, so you can just kind of clip through that cage there to get over here. Otherwise, you'd have to go all the way around. Say hi to another Big Butt. This is where you learn Talon Trot in this area right here, by the way. So before we figured out that DDA was a thing, we had to go through the entire first level and a section of this level before we could even learn Talon Trot. And Talon Trot's the fastest way of traveling in this game. So you could see that really made the speedrun quite faster when we figured out how to get Talon Trot early. And we don't have to collect nearly as many tokens. Oh, oh, you know what? I actually missed a pot. I'll have to go back and get that. I could go back right now just so I don't forget later. Let me just hop back real quick and get that. There's a quick pot that I forgot to get back here. I was kind of afraid I was going to do that too, because I forgot it in practice as well. But it's not far out of the way. It's just right here. There it is. And there's a couple of people in the BK community that I see. Asmi, Red J, Crosby. They're all pretty prominent people. Asmi actually has Banjo-Kazooie 100% world record currently. And the any percent. And he also has the any percent world record. So definitely ask them questions about this game if you have any. Because they know a lot about the vanilla game. They don't know much about this game, but they know a lot about the vanilla game if you have any general BK questions. So we're wrapping up Castletown here. We're just going to get a few more notes, couple more Jiggies, and then we'll be moving on to the next area. You can see some teehees here, some ghosts. So far, things are looking okay. I was expecting to already have died by now. Gotta be extra careful with those guys, because they actually take 2 health when they hit you. And I only have 2 health, so if they were to touch me, I would have died. Alrighty. Just a couple more notes. We're a little behind my PB, but that's alright. I certainly wasn't expecting to PB today. I actually did a run yesterday, and I got a 218, which was literally only like 16 seconds behind my PB. I was shocked, considering I haven't really played too much lately. I wasn't really expecting to have a run quite at that caliber. It just came out of nowhere. Dodge these guys. Alrighty, and then we are gonna death warp here. We got all of our notes. We got 6 Jiggies. Now, yes, there are 10 Jiggies, but we're gonna be getting the other 4 Jiggies as the broom later. So do not worry, I'm not forgetting anything. Not yet. Alrighty, now here you can see Hyrule Field in all of its glory. You can see a couple of vanilla BK enemies here. We're going to be seeing a really big Collywobble coming up from Spiral Mountain. So this trick that I'm going to be doing is a trick that I discovered in order to get out of bounds in Hyrule Field, and this is useful to get into a lot of levels early without having to unlock them. If I get this first try, I will be donating $20 to this marathon. No, didn't get it. If I get it the second try, then I'll still donate 20. All right, we got it. I failed it on purpose. So this is Lake Hylia. This level probably has some of the most beautiful music in the game. It's honestly just kind of one of my favorite levels, just because of the way it looks, the atmosphere, the music. It's all just very nice. And there's the infamous water temple in this level, which isn't quite as bad as in Ocarina of Time. Anybody who played Ocarina of Time probably hated the water temple. We're gonna get this honeycomb down here. This room is a little complicated just because it's super laggy. It's very hard to move fast. There's a lot of water too, and it's tight. It's a very complicated room. But we're already done with it. So. And then there's the Talon Trot pad, Shock Jump pad, I forget what they're called. Hidden in that rope. I'm pretty sure that the game hints you that it's there somewhere else. I forget exactly where it hints you, but a lot of the stuff in this game is actually very well placed, and there's sufficient hints placed in the game as well telling you where things are. So like, some people did complain that like the game's a little too challenging, like things are hidden too well. But I honestly stand by the fact that like he offered enough hints to figure everything out without too much problems. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. It's alright. But I'm aware that some people don't really agree with me on that. Some people think it was too hard. And in some aspects, I think they're right. But like Tomato said in chat, challenge is good. You don't want to make things too easy, or else it's just not fun. It's just not fun to figure it out. Toward the end of this game, we'll be doing Forest Temple. And Forest Temple is actually the most Zelda-like level in this game, just because it's all one big puzzle. Like you literally have to like solve the puzzles to progress in the level, just like a Zelda game. I'll explain that more when we get to that level. All of these levels are more platforming based, like Banjo-Kazooie, but Forest Temple is very Zelda-like, and I'm really glad that he added a level like that, because you have to keep the Zelda theme in here as well. You can't make it all Banjo. We're just making our way down. We're gonna do a little quick dive here. So quick dives work. I kind of shoot myself, like drop myself down into the water a little bit. It works. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar too much with like vanilla BK stuff, but basically, when you're entering water, there's like a certain animation that you go through when you exit Talon Trot. If you go through that animation while you're entering water, for the duration of the animation, you will continue to drop in the water. So you use that in both the vanilla game and in this game to enter the water a little deeper, which just prevents you from having to swim. Swimming in this game is very slow, so you wanna do that as little as possible. It's just a little optimization, a little movement optimization. All right, so right now we're at 50 notes. That's on track. Quick dives are very underrated. I remember when I first started running Banjo-Kazooie a few years ago. I was neglecting to learn how to quick dive, and it's such an easy thing to do. I always thought it was hard, but I neglected to do it. And someone yelled at me. I forget exactly who it was, but someone was like, "You have to quick dive, man." I was like, all right, fine, I'll quick dive. There's a little quick dive as well. Notice that I kind of entered the water really deep there. So this is the fishing section. The part of the Ocarina of Time game that everyone hated because it was very uncooperative. And a lot of it's RNG as well, so even speedrunners hate it. But casually, I remember having a lot of issues with fishing in the vanilla Ocarina of Time game. We all need a good yelling. I agree. Okay, I just had to get that Jiggy, but the crabs are kind of guarding it. So it's a little tricky. I have died a few times there, but I developed a strat to kind of make it so that I would die less. And I decided to play it safe. You can do that a lot faster, but I am definitely going to err on the side of caution because, as you know, in this game, specifically in Banjo-Kazooie, dying in a level can be very taxing, especially if you get deep enough into the level, because you have to get the notes don't save. It's the same as for this game. The notes do not save. So if you die, you have to recollect all of them. Nope. And I'm going up instead of down. I don't know where I'm going. Banjo's a little lost, guys. So just give him some time to figure it out. He's just a little slow. So this is Water Temple, if you didn't figure that out already. It stays pretty true to the format of the temple itself. It's a little smaller, obviously. It's a little easier than the Water Temple because it's just an aspect of the level versus an entire level by itself. But there's a lot of swimming, which is why it's one of the slower parts of this level, just because swimming, like I said before, is very, very slow. I'm gonna try to get up here without getting hit. Beautiful. Okay, so I have full health. That's bad, actually. I could afford to take some damage in some places, so I'll see where the best place to take damage is. get this note here. I'm gonna go up here. There's some wall chompas here. They can be very scary, but don't let them scare you. Because after all they want to do is hug you. It's not like they're trying to eat you. They just want some cuddles and some hugs. Just like we all do. Okay, a little quick dive there. And the camera will fix itself when I get down to the bottom. Just like that. It's a little strap that Brad developed. Piper Resonance. I keep calling him Brad. I feel like a lot of you don't know him as Brad. Piper Resonance. Who really helped a lot with the routing in this game, actually. Originally, it was me and Haginator that first started routing this game when it came out. And then when I told Brad, and Brad said he'd help, so he actually was responsible for most of the routing for most of the levels. And he kind of took all of my routes and made them better. So this run would not be anywhere near where it is today if it wasn't for him. So huge thank you to that guy. And then obviously there's other people who have helped as well with the development of the speed run for this game. There's Red J in chat. Ring Rush helped a lot as well. He kind of helped find some tricks and glitches. I don't think I'm missing anything. I really hope I'm not. And here we got the boss of the water temple. We're gonna make short work of him though. Alrighty. And he's dead. Gone but not forgotten. So we're going to exit and actually go back in. There's a couple more things that we need to do. When we hit a switch earlier, we actually unlocked this pipe right here, which lets us get this honey hive, this honeycomb piece. We'll go over here and we'll finish up the temple. We're just about done. Oh. Don't forget that note. I just didn't want to die there. That would have been traumatic. Alrighty, all 100 notes. As you can see, I'm breaking doors by shooting eggs. It's because it's slightly faster than breaking doors with a peck. Just because when you break a door with a peck, you also have recoil. I'll show you. You kind of recoil. So breaking it with an egg is faster because you don't have that same recoil. Just a little optimization. Alright, so I have full health almost, I think. I'm going to have to take a lot of damage here. Yeah. So I'll just kind of play around with these buffoons real quick. This should be the last Jiggy. And then we'll Death Warp. Just like in the vanilla game, Death Warping is most of the time is the fastest way to get back to the beginning of the level. Alrighty. So here we're gonna go out of bounds again to get into Gerudo Fortress early. Oh. Gonna backflip up here. Hag was actually the one that figured this out. So we call this Hag Skip, and we call the tree jump that I did, that I got second try, Volk Skip. Because I figured that one out. Very, very creative names. As you can see, we're very creative. Alright. So we're actually visiting this level, but we're not going to do anything other than get the broom. We have enough tokens. We're not going to do the level just yet. We're actually going to do it later. It's slightly faster and safer to do it later, because you have more health later. And there's a lot of Jiggies and whip cracks that are inconsistent to get, and obviously you take damage if you mess it up. So we have definitely decided to do it later, and I'm pretty sure I'm not sure if we timed it or not, but I'm fairly positive that it's actually faster to do it later, just because of the way the route works. Also, I don't know why I'm getting stuff. I was just saying that we're not doing this level, and I'm over here collecting things. I'm not supposed to collect anything. So we will not collect anything else. So here I zoom in because this next section is dependent on a carpet cycle. If you zoom in, it manipulates the movement of the carpet to move slower, so you can make it in time. If you're all the way zoomed out, you'll miss the carpet, and you'll have to wait for it to come all the way back. It's very slow. Alrighty. So here we'll be transforming into the broom. You will only see one other transformation in this speedrun, unfortunately. And that will be in Zora's domain. So we're just gonna die. And this is going to take us to the Lost Woods. So that's pretty confusing. It's hard to explain exactly why the game does this, but basically, when you die in Gerudo Fortress, there's a little cutscene that happens after you die, before you load back into the level. And I talked to Kirko about it, and basically what Kirko said is that for some reason, when... Oh, I missed the Jiggy here. When you die in Gerudo Fortress, the game tried to kick him back into this level. So he inserted a second loading zone in this level that leads you back to Gerudo Fortress. And that kind of fixed the problem. Interestingly enough, we can actually use that warp zone in the speedrun to go faster, because we actually have to revisit Gerudo Fortress, because as I said, we didn't do the level. So I will have to go back to that level. So I'm actually going to use that that loading zone that I just talked about to go back to Gerudo Fortress, and it looks very interesting when you do it. There's a whole setup involved. So you will see that when the time comes, but that's not going to be for a couple hours. Okay, let's see if I can do this. This is pretty tricky to do. Alright, we got it. I practiced that a lot, because I didn't want to mess it up for this. So this is actually the first level of the game right here. This is what you would be doing first, but as you can see, we are doing it third, second, third. We're doing it third, and we're doing the whole thing as the broom. The whole level is going to be done as the broom. And it's a couple minutes faster. So this is just one of the many levels that we do entirely as the broom, which is what makes RBA so much faster in this game. It's a very powerful transformation. It does require quite a bit of focus. Brad and I have actually both talked about the fact that doing this game 100% is very tiring for the brain, just because of all the focus it requires from like controlling the broom. We like always joke about the fact that like it's like hard for us to do several runs in a day just because it's just so taxing. It just feels like you like took you like took a huge test or something. Is basically what it feels like when you're finished with a run. It's just a lot of brain power involved. I'm gonna try to collect all these notes without landing, but it's not gonna work very well. Ah, that's all right. Okay. That's a honeycomb. Alright. So we'll get these 2 notes, and then we'll enter the Great Deku Tree. A couple things we gotta do in here. Alright, we got that. We're gonna go around. So you saw me do a honey hive clip as Banjo in Castletown. I'm not sure if you guys remember that or not. When I clipped through the cage using the honey hive that's against the cage. Well, here you'll see another honey hive clip, but I'll be doing it as the broom. And I'll pretty much use this honey hive right here to clip through the wall. Because there's another... In fact, if this wasn't possible, you would not be able to do this level 100% because of this one Jiggy right here. This was the only Jiggy we couldn't get using the broom until we figured out that you could clip through that wall using that honey hive. If that weren't possible, it probably wouldn't even be worth it to do this level as the broom because you weren't able to do it 100%. But thankfully, we figured it out. And since it's possible, we do the whole level with just the broom. So we're all pretty thankful for that. This part right here is pretty tricky. There's these notes on these vines here. You have to get them as the broom, but broom movements, not the easiest thing in the world, as you guys can probably imagine. Alright, that wasn't terrible. There's definitely been worse. We're gonna land here. This is Nabnut's place. Everyone say hi to Nabnut. He is back from the original game. And he's very smelly. We're going to void out there to go back to the start of the level. We're going to go back to Link's house. I always kind of wondered why Banjo was waking up in Link's house. I'm not really sure where Link is. He's kind of MIA right now. But thankfully, Banjo was watching over his house for some reason. If he wasn't, I guess Grunny would have just won. So let's just be thankful that Banjo was, for some reason, in Link's house. I'm not sure if he was robbing the place or... Can't really tell you. But we are glad that Banjo and Kazooie are both here. Regardless of what they were doing. So let's just not think about it. Banjo and Link. You ship them? I don't know about that. I think that's what they call bestiality, but that's a topic for another day. He's just wearing a fursuit. Of course. Ah, yes. The hyper-realistic fursuits. Alright, so we're just about done with this level here. Got a couple more notes here in a Jinjo. I try to snag these notes out of the air without landing. I missed the Jiggy. That's alright. Kind of sloppy, but we are finished with the level. And I actually golded. I actually golded that level by 20 seconds. Alright, so there are 3 secret levels in Hyrule Field that are references to different games. This is Donkey Kong Country. So it's pretty neat, but we can do the whole thing as the broom. So it makes it a heck of a lot faster. You get 2 free tokens there. So we're gonna get this just like that. And then we're gonna death warp out of here. Alrighty, and the next secret that you're gonna see is a very fancy one. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys, but I will let you guys figure it out for yourself. So as I said before, the only level that we have to unlock is Zora's Domain. So we're gonna do that now, since we're here. We have to come back later as Banjo to do this level. So we're gonna put in our 7 puzzle pieces, our 7 jigsaw pieces, to open up the level. And then we will be seeing another reference to another Zelda game. Can you guess which one it is? Stuck a little bit there. Zelda 2. Maybe it's one of the CDI versions. It's one of the CDI games, yeah. It's actually Breath of the Wild. So with this, there's a whole thing you have to do to get to the end, and then you have to fly. But since we have the broom, well, we skip all of that. And we just get the Jiggy. That's it. This alone saves, I want to say, like 1 to 2 minutes. So it's a pretty big time save. Just one of the reasons why having the broom outside of Gerudo Fortress is very fast. Oh, and yeah, there are Easter eggs throughout the entire game. There's like different cartridges for different games, for different N64 games, riddled all throughout the entire game. Unfortunately, I can't show them all to you. It would take a while to get them all. So these pads right here actually turn the Hyrule Field from day to night. So we're going to go into Lon Lon Ranch next, and we are going to get all of the Jiggies. So these are classified as Hyrule Field Jiggies. So we're just going to kind of get all the Hyrule Field Jiggies here in Lon Lon Ranch. This is Witchy World music, if you guys didn't notice. Or it's kind of like Witchy World anyway. It isn't really Witchy World. And then here is a little maze, but you can't see the walls. So you have to memorize it. I memorized it for the most part, but It did take a while. As you can see, it's not perfect. Oh. Alrighty. But this area is very fast as the broom. When we first started routing this game before we did RBA, we were doing this as Banjo, and it's very slow as Banjo. It takes a while. I'm gonna try to get a token up here. Okay, we got it. Okay. Not terrible. Almost finished with Lon Lon Ranch. Just a couple more things we gotta do. So for this part, you're supposed to climb all the way up to the top and then drop in. But with the broom, if you angle the broom correctly, it should work. Yep. You can snag the Jiggy in there, so you don't have to climb all the way up. It's very similar to the 1 and 2-y. I don't know if you guys ever played Banjo 2-y at all. It's very similar to the like large drop you have to do in Witchy World, but it's like twice as high. It's very obnoxious. And thankfully, you can grab all of the Jiggies and chests in this game as the broom just by abusing hitboxes a little bit. So we're going to grab the last Jinjo, which is actually over here. We can say hello to my friend. I named him Fred. You guys can name him whatever you want. And that's going to do it for now. We're going to enter Kakariko Village. Once again, skipping having to unlock it because we just did that. And we're going to do all of Kakariko Village except for one honeycomb piece you cannot get as the broom. We're going to do everything else, though, as the broom. Gotta be careful here. Okay. I didn't want to take that much damage. I think we're okay. Gotta make sure we don't die. So, with this level, very, very true to the actual game itself. Here's the graveyard right here. Unfortunately, there is no Dampe, however you say his name. Fortunately, he's not here. He's absent. Which you will see. Oh, did I really miss? That's unfortunate. We'll try again. I think I tried to rush it too much. Alright, we got it. So you can sneak in there and snag it from him before he's able to fall down there. So something interesting with this level that we discovered is that there are actually 2 instances of the windmill. And I'll show you the one instance. So obviously the one instance is entering the windmill the casual way. But you can also enter the windmill through a different area of this level. And if you do that, it's like a separately loaded windmill with notes of its own. So in this level, there are actually more than 100 notes. And when we discovered that, it came into question whether that should be considered in the 100% rules for this game, if you should have to collect all of the notes, not just the casual ones, but also the duplicates. We did decide against it. Basically, what we decided is that you're allowed to collect any 100 notes you like. You have to collect 100 notes from Kakariko Village, but it can be any 100 notes that you like, as long as it's 100. That was our final decision. So we are going to collect... We are actually not going to enter the windmill the casual way. We're going to enter the duplicate windmill. And we're going to get the notes from there. Oh, jeez. Alright, this is a little scary. I definitely don't want to die. Gotta see where our buddy is there. I'm gonna play this safe. Gonna have to be really careful in this area. The last thing that I want to do is die. That would be quite tragic. I don't think that I have to deal with any more enemy. Well, I do have to deal with an enemy, actually. I'll just have to be careful. So here is the duplicate windmill I was talking about. You can go over here, and it leads you to a windmill. But this is a separate windmill from when you enter the windmill casually. It has a Jiggy, too, but the Jiggy is gone if you come back the casual way. I would really like some health, but I guess it can't be helped. I'll just have to sweat it out. I missed it. Alright, so I'm being extra careful here. I don't want to die. Oh. Alright, so we're gonna void out here. Or not void out, but go out of bounds. Do another windmill clip. Secret, 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 secret windmill! That's funny. Okay, so I could potentially die here, actually. It's kind of scary. I guess I'll try to clip fast. I can already hear him moving around up there. Okay, we're alive. There's a Robin Hood Grublin that hangs around up here, and he likes to walk over that cage. He's right there. But yeah, that can be very concerning, because I only have 1 health here. I'm alive. for now. And actually, when I get to Death Mountain, I'm actually going to take a death on purpose. Just so I don't die and lose progress. I'll die before I make progress. I have plenty of lives, so... Just gonna come up here and get this Jiggy. It's not easy to get. It's kind of precise. You have to kind of angle yourself right. Here, this should work. Okay. That's a tricky Jiggy to get. Okay, I gotta watch out for these enemies too. Gonna need you to go somewhere else. Wow, this is actually really stressful. My commentary is going to be lacking in this level just because of how stressful this is right now. I will not die. I promise. I'm not normally this low health at this point in the level. Normally I have 2 health. But right now is sketchy. So we're gonna go up here. Get all these notes. That was really good. Sneak around that guy without being seen. Okay, so it looks like we have all the notes. We're gonna wrap up here so that I can breathe again. I don't think I took a solid breath since I started this level. So we have 9 Jiggies. There's actually 1 Jiggy that we're gonna get as Banjo. So I'm not forgetting anything. Alright. So we're gonna clip one more time, and we're gonna go over to Death Mountain. This is one of the harder levels. Like I said, I'm gonna take a quick death, just so I have full health. Oh, well, I decided to fly instead. Alright. So we'll die there. And we will be doing a majority of this level as the broom, but not all of it. So coming up, you will see King Dodongo's Cavern, if you remember that from the vanilla Ocarina of Time game. In this, you actually need Banjo and the transformation for this level, both. So you have to revisit it twice. But since we're using the broom, that avoids the need to have to revisit it, which is what makes it so much faster for this level. We will do this whole area as just the broom. So we will not need the transformation at all. And it doesn't help that the transformation is a Tektite, which is really slow. It's the termite from Banjo-Kazooie, if you remember. And if you remember how slow that particular transformation is. Okay, so we gotta clip through the ceiling here. There's a lot of fancy clips in this level. And they're all similar to the 765 note door clip, which is used in the vanilla Banjo game. They all function similarly to that clip. If you're familiar at all with how that clip works, basically has to do with angle and speed to be able to clip through certain parts of walls and doors. which is just another reason why the broom is such a powerful transformation, because it can clip through things very easily because it's fast. It's the fastest thing in the game. There's nothing faster. But the downside is that it's hard to control. So we'll try to make short work of Dongo's cavern here. Got another. Oh, I voided out. I knew that was gonna happen. All right. So I voided out, but it's okay. You don't lose progress when you void out. You only lose progress when you die. So we'll just re-enter. No big deal. I don't remember where I was though. I was up here. Oh, there we go. I almost did it again, but I didn't. Once again, we'll grab the Jiggy from the chest here. We'll fly and get these notes. There's not too much going on right now. It's just kind of grabbing a bunch of notes. I gotta make a landing. So right here is the part where you need the transformation for. We can actually drop down here and enter this area. Here is King Dodongo, as I promised, in all of his glory. Poor King Dodongo. Nah, he's certainly seen better days. I mean, after all, Link did quite a number on him when he decided to roll him into the lava. Really, it's all Link's fault, so we can blame Link. I'm okay blaming Link if you guys are okay blaming Link. Or we can blame Zelda. Either one works for me, really. Okay, so we're finished with that. We will now move on with the rest of the level. That is all of King Dodongo's cavern. Blame Zeldor.
Hey there. While we're moving on here, it's me, the host. Hi. I have got a couple of donations if you have a sec.
Oh, sweet. Sure. Absolutely. This is the perfect time.
Yo, loving the run so far, wanted to say. Great job.
Thank you.
We have got an anonymous $69 donation with the message, Buzz, Buzz, Nice, Buzz, Buzz. That dog for nice.
Give me a nice in chat, guys.
Heck yeah. We've got RB Pimlico again for another $20. Excellent run so far. Sorry for ruining the nice. Someone will just have to make the total nice again. And that is true. There's plenty more 426 nines out there. So keep getting your donations in. We're looking for 5K to get 100 rooms of Kuso from Umar later tonight. And for right now, please continue on with this fantastic run.
Thank you so much for that. That is awesome. Keep the money coming, guys. It's all for a good cause. Don't forget what we're doing this for. It's incredible what the power of gaming communities can have on issues throughout the world. Probably one of the coolest things. I know people are like, it's just a video game, but we're all here to help the less fortunate. The camera gets stuck a little bit there, so I kind of had to fly away to fix it. The lava in this level isn't as deadly as it looks. In the original version of this ROM hack, he actually made it so that everywhere in this level, even in King Dodongo's cavern, the lava insta-killed you. A lot of people complained about it and said that it made it too challenging, kind of like what I was mentioning earlier. He actually fixed it in the most recent version, version 1.2, where it doesn't insta-kill you anymore. So I'm struggling to get in that hole. Let me see what I'm doing here.
You know, this run is so nice. We've got another $11 from TJB to make it 416969. Just say nice.
Thank you for the donation. That's funny. Nice. Okay, so here is another maze. And because of the camera, it makes it kind of difficult. And I'm also doing this maze backwards. The way that I entered is actually the entrance, or is actually the exit. So I not only had to memorize the forward, but I had to memorize the backward as well. And it does get confusing at times. So I'm going to be focusing here a little bit to make sure I don't get lost. There is a nice convenient map at the end of it. Of course, he puts it at the end when you no longer need the map, but it's still helpful. And then I'll be going down here, and we're out. Pretty easy. All right, we didn't get lost. So that right there, you're actually supposed to do that as the transformation for this level. Mumbo is actually down here. You get turned into a tech type, but you do not see that in this run because we simply do not need it. And like I said earlier, it's very slow. So it's definitely beneficial to do this level as the broom rather than the casual way of doing things. Oh, the power of the broom. Yeah, absolutely keep the donations coming, guys. It's very cool how much money was raised already. $4,000 is not a tiny amount. That's like the amount of money that I have in my bank account right now. So keep it coming. And as I said, I will also be donating. So far, $20. Volkskip is going to be coming up again later in the run. If I get it first or second try, then I'll donate another $20 to make it $40. But that'll be coming up later, though. We're just about finished with Death Mountain here. It's been quite a trip. We messed up a couple things, but overall, was not bad. And I'm playing this really safe. Normally, at this point in time, I would have 2 health, optimally. I'm playing it safe. I would rather not die, so I'll take all the damage at the end. Okay, so here's a little trick. You can grab onto that ladder by backflip ground pounding. In this game, when you ground pound, Banjo's position actually travels upward a little bit before he ground pounds, so it helps you grab onto ladders like that. Also works in Banjo-Tooie. Alright, so we'll be grabbing these last few notes in this last Jiggy here. Nice camera flip. Here are the huts from Mumbo's Mountain, if you recognize them at all. There's 6 of them. Just $2,800 away from 69, 69, 69. I like
You know, we actually have a donation to help us get there. Nate with the 3451 to make it 4204.20 BLZ. It can't imagine what that means.
Oh boy. We have lots of memers today. I like it. I like it. We have the 69s, we have the 420s. We have all the funny numbers. And then I'll just dance around with this guy to die since we're finished. Alright. That is Death Mountain. That was not a great Death Mountain, but we're just here for a good time. So as I said before, we're going to have to get that honeycomb piece that I skipped earlier, because you have to actually hit this pad over here. And you can't do that as the broom, obviously. So we'll do that now. And while we're at it, we're also going to get this Jiggy down here. This is actually where you unlock Death Mountain. But since you saw what I did earlier to get Death Mountain without unlocking it, we're not going to unlock Death Mountain, we'll just get the Jiggy. And we'll move on. We're on decent pace so far, though. Right now, it says my best possible time's at 2:18, so we're still in very good shape to get the time better than 2:30, which is my expected time. Got to keep things moving along. Alright, so we're going to grab this honeycomb piece here. That windmill that I just climbed up actually used to be really laggy. He had the cobblestones that you climbed up. Also, Diddy. Let's say hi to Diddy really quick. What's up, Diddy? But he actually had those cobblestones that I climbed up on the other side of the windmill. And for some reason, just because of the camera angle, it caused a ridiculous amount of lag. Like enough to almost crash the game. He simply moved the cobblestones, and it made all the lag go away. But I am actually playing this on the Nintendo 64. It is optimized for emulator, and it looks a little better on emulator. It runs a little smoother on emulator, but the N64 version actually is the fastest speedrunning version because there's certain tricks that are harder to do on emulator because there's less lag. A lot of the clips that I do, especially in like Death Mountain, are a lot easier on N64. It's actually quite similar to DK64, if you're familiar with that speedrun at all. People speedrun DK64 101% on Virtual Console rather than N64, which is a lot faster, but it's also a lot harder because the less lag means that certain tricks are harder. So it's kind of like weighing the pros and the cons. But for this game, it's not even faster to do emulator, and it's more difficult. So while Hyper Resonance runs this game on emulator, I run this game on the actual console using my EverDrive. If you wanted to run this game at all, you could do either. You could do emulator or N64. Just for availability's sake. So this is Zora's Domain. It has my favorite music, which you'll get to hear very shortly here. Tell me if you guys recognize it. I'm sure you will. That's a little fidgety. I actually think Red J was the one that discovered you could do that. I'm not sure if it was Red J, but I want to give the credit to Red J for some reason. This music right here. The classic Dragon Roost Island. Which is actually my favorite music from the entire Zelda franchise. Interestingly enough. But it just makes this level very fun to play through, just simply because of the music. It is one of the more laggy levels though, because this tree right here, and all the objects that are loaded all at the same time. It's one of the more laggy levels, but it's still one of my favorites. It is unfortunately the longest level because of all the stuff you have to do with the transformation. It's unfortunate, but you cannot do this level as the brew. So you're stuck using the transformation. And the transformation is about as slow as transformations can get. As you'll see later. I'm not going to spoil what the transformation is. I'll let you guys figure it out. All on your own. It's not the bee. So we have 15 tokens, which is the amount of tokens that you need. So we're good on tokens. If you played this game casually, I'm not sure if there's anybody here that has played this game casually. As I said before, you definitely should if you haven't. But something that you will discover when you play casually is that the Mumbo tokens in this game are very tight. You need 90 tokens in order to turn into all the transformations, and there are 105 tokens in the whole game. So if you play this game casually, I'll just give you a warning. Collect as many tokens as you can, because you're probably gonna need them. And there's a lot of very well hidden tokens in this game. Something that I figured out for myself when I played casually. I was very low on tokens. So you might recognize this egg. It's from Bubble Gloop's Swamp. And you might recognize the nest as well. It is none other than Erie's nest. And we got some special music for you. This is Donkey Kong 64 music. There's plenty of references to all the different kinds of games in this game. It isn't just Banjo-Kazooie, it isn't just Ocarina of Time. There's references to GoldenEye, there's references to DK64. And we got one more here. This is the hardest one. I thought that this was a really creative way of introducing the crocodiles that are in Bubble Gloop Swamp. As you can probably tell, this level is Bubble Gloop Swamp. It has a lot of the Bubble Gloop Swamp aspects to it. And it's actually very ironic because Bubble Gloop Swamp is also one of the slower levels in Banjo-Kazooie for the speedrun. So is this. So it kind of works out. And I don't believe I'm missing any notes, but it's possible that I am. So we'll have to look out for that. If I am missing a note, then we'll just get it. I probably should have memorized how many notes I should have at certain parts, though. I'm gonna assume that I'm not missing anything, though, because it's not like I've never played this before. I'll just let my muscle memory do the work. I do also speedrun the original Banjo-Kazooie game, yes. I have a 207, which is, I think it's like 20th place, or 19th place, or something like that. I'm like somewhere up there. I'm certainly not top 10, but I'm somewhere up there. And I also speedran Banjo-Tooie for a little bit, but not for very long. So there's a little secret level in this room. You have to pay really extra attention if you want to figure that out casually. It's not easy to find. So here's yet another video game reference. Good old Super Mario Kart. So here the objective is to get all the way to the end. But the thing is you don't have a go-kart. So you have to go by foot. But we don't have a go-kart, but what we do have are very conveniently placed speed shoes. So we'll just make our way to the end here. Do a drift. Shift into third gear. We're not gonna make it. Alrighty. That's it. Yeah, it is a very difficult secret to find. I know a lot of people struggled with that, including myself. So don't be ashamed if it took you a while to get that. It took most people a long time. Alright, so here we're gonna do a little clip. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna take some damage so I can die. I'm gonna ground pound and kill myself. But I'm talking about in-game. I'm not talking about IRL. So don't worry. Don't worry. Alright. The good thing is that if you die when you void out, you actually don't lose your progress for your notes. So that's why I was able to die there and still keep all my notes, even though I said earlier that your notes don't save. It's because I died, but I also voided out. Okay. Oh, I have a bad feeling that I'm missing a note. But I'm just gonna assume I got We'll we'll actually find out right here whether I'm missing any notes or not. Yeah, it's also used in the Banjo-Kazooie speedrun as well. It's used a lot in Click Clock Wood. So it's certainly a very helpful aspect. Voiding out is very nice in this game. Alright, so here's the transformation. It is a baby Dodongo. Not quite sure why he decided to do that. It doesn't really fit the Zora's domain. I feel like he could have thought of something a little more fitting, but I still like it because it's cute. But he had to use the Croc somehow, so this is just kind of how he ended up doing that. Okay, so this is a really slow part of the run right here. It's simply just another maze. And you also have to take damage on these things, so health management's another big part of this. This is sort of why this is like the longest level. There's just a lot of this. There's the Croc statue egg shooting minigame. There's this. The Croc is also just very slow in its movements. But at least it's a peaceful Zen level, so you don't lose your mind while playing it. Okay, let's see how many notes we have here. 6. This is the moment of truth, guys. I think I'm okay. I need that. I should have 89, and there should be one more note, so I think I'm okay. Yep, we're good. Alrighty. I was a little worried, but as I said, I shouldn't have been. I'm not a casual. I'm not some filthy casual, you know? I know what I'm doing. Okay, this is a scary part right here, because these things can kill me very easily. They will not hesitate to end my life. I've definitely lost many a run to those things, trying to go fast, so I just took it slow and careful. Also, shout outs to the 69 eggs. I'm gonna try to keep that. Just so you guys know, I do have 69 blue eggs. We're gonna keep the theme. If I could have 420 blue eggs, I'd probably go for that. So we'll just stick with the 69. Alright, so we have to go back here. If you talk to him, he'll tell you that he's missing his father. So we will have to go find his father a little later. But for now, we'll just leave him alone. Let him cry in peace. If you know anything about Boggy, you know that he is a terrific A+ dad. And that's a joke, because he's known for being a terrible father. And he's not much better in this game. So we will find him later. And I will let you guys decide what kind of father he is. Is he a good father or a bad father? Alright. So we're just about done with this level. Not too much left to go, just a couple of notes and a Jiggy. there's all the notes. Alrighty. Fortunately, there's just not a whole lot of commentary for this level. It's just very long. So we'll try to get out of here. Okay. Alrighty. We're finally done with that. So the next level is going to be a much more fascinating one. We're going to be traveling to Forest Temple. And as I said before, Forest Temple is actually my favorite level in the whole game, just because of how challenging it was. I'll kind of explain the level as I go through it. Obviously, for the speedrun, it's a lot easier because you just memorize where everything is. But when you're playing casually, you can ask just about anybody that played this game, and they would say that Forest Temple is the most difficult level of them all. Because like I said before, the whole level is actually just one gigantic puzzle. And we're going to be doing Volt Skip again, so here is my moment. If I get it first or second try, I will be donating a total of $40 after my run. So we will see how it goes. Everybody wish me good luck. Alright, that's one. I didn't get it. This is a very precise trick. Alright, I got a third try. I'll donate 20 anyway. We're going the wrong way. I'm gonna donate 20 anyway. Because I'm a nice person. So, I talked a little earlier about loading zones to levels that are in Hyrule. That the one loading zone to Gerudo Fortress is actually in the Lost Woods. Well, there's also a loading zone to Forest Temple right here that we use. So, that's also interesting. It's for the same reason as I talked about with Gerudo Fortress. He was having an issue. When you die in Forest Temple, it tried to kick him out to Hyrule Field instead of taking you back to the beginning of Forest Temple. So to fix it, he did the same thing. He created a second loading zone that leads to Forest Temple, and he put it somewhere in Hyrule Field. And we are able to use that to our advantage to get to the level faster, because it makes it so you don't have to unlock the level. It's a nice little picture. We'll talk about it for a second here. He has a very interesting pose. Apparently his name is Joshua. I'm not really sure who he is. But everyone say hi to Joshua. Obviously, it's Joshua. Alright, so you probably recognize some of these things from the Vanilla Forest Temple. this is the area that leads to the first Ganon fight. But unfortunately, it's not going to be Ganon that we fight. It's going to be something else. So to keep in line with the Banjo theme, it's going to be a different boss. So I will let you guys see what that is for yourself. Just got to get through all these floors. As you can see, I'm just kind of skipping all the enemies. You don't need to fight them. We'll just chug along. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. We all know Ganon's in jail. Exactly. So instead, there's another person that decided to take his place. And that is... good old Boss Boombox. Here's a little skip. It works the same way as Banjo-Kazooie. If you ever speedran Banjo-Kazooie before or watched a speedrun, you know that there's a Boss Boombox skip. You basically just shoot him with eggs to hit him from his starting location, and that prevents the cutscene from starting. So you can kill him very easily. Okay, so there's a hidden flight pad here. There are hints scattered all throughout the area showing you where different things are. There's a poster that tells you where that flight pad is. It tells you that it's there. So it's like, just like I said, it's all just one big puzzle. You kind of have to use what the level gives you to progress in the game. The game tells you what the code sequence is here, but I just memorized it. It's the same every time. So we can just get through that part really quickly. And if you pay close attention, all throughout the level, there are little pictures on the walls that have a letter on it, A through Z, and they also have a symbol on it. So it's basically saying that that letter is represented by that symbol. And what this level does is it gives you hints, but it only gives you the hints in the Forest Temple language. So you have to find all of the letters, figure out what the symbols are that represent each of the letters, and then use that to decode all of the hints. There's a little Zelda reference there if you saw it. This next part, I'm sure you guys will all love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the whole game. Very, very creative. We're gonna go inside this tree trunk here into a whole new world. And it is 2D Zelda. Very, very creative. So in this area contains both of the honeycomb pieces for this level. So there's 2 honeycomb pieces in every single level. There's a little hidden doorway there. There are 2 honeycomb pieces in every level, as well as 10 jigsaw pieces and 100 notes. So we will be getting both honeycomb pieces in this area right here. You just gotta find them. And also, something that I haven't mentioned yet before, something to kind of help you with the game, there is Brentilda. Just like how she's in Banjo-Kazooie, and she gives you hints on how to... I'll show you. She's right here in this level. There's one Brentilda in each level, and she basically gives you 3 hints as to where things are. If you're playing this game casually and you are stumped, you can always try to find Brentilda, and she'll give you 3 hints as to where certain things are to kind of help you progress in the game a little bit. For some things, you almost need Brentilda to know that it's there. very, very difficult to figure out some of the stuff in this game by yourself, because Kirko did do a very good job at hiding things. But it's just as I said earlier, I don't think that anything in this game is unfair. The game does give you hints. You just have to pay close enough attention. But it is a challenging game, especially if you want 100% it. I will warn you, it is not easy. So we're all finished with that. Moving on to another part of the level. Something that just really attracted me to this game at first was just how it looks. It's just so beautiful. And you can just see the 4, 5, 6 years of work that he put into it. Like, you can just see it. Which is why I got into speedrunning this game. Because I love Banjo-Kazooie, and I love Ocarina of Time. So I was just like... Also, I just needed a project to work on. So, like, routing this game was, like, the perfect... the perfect... what's the word I'm trying to think of? Distraction. Especially because of all the COVID stuff that's been happening. It was just a really good distraction from the brutalness of reality. He does have other hacks as well if you don't know about them. There is a Wind Waker Banjo-Kazooie ROM hack. It's not quite as long. It's actually really short, but it's still fast. It's still a really pretty game. And there's a Majora's Mask one too. It's called Grunny's Mask. It's a little longer than the Wind Waker one, but it's definitely not quite as long as this. This is his longest ROM hack, by far. All of his other ones aren't quite near as long. He is also doing a Banjo-Kazooie stay-at-home ROM hack. It references different games. It has Super Mario 64 references, DK64 references, but it's basically just like a collection of different levels. But I think he's still coming out with a couple of levels for that game. I don't think he's quite done with it. But you can play it. What's out so far, you are able to play it. If you follow him on YouTube, I think his YouTube channel is Mark Kirko. I might be wrong, but you should definitely follow him on YouTube if you don't already. He has amazing ROM hacks. Also follow him on Twitter. I'll have to try to think about what his Twitter handle is. And he's also on Twitch. It's Kirko Mods with an underscore. But if you're interested in learning more about his ROM hacks, can't find them, just send me a DM, and I'll try to get you the information that you need. That camera was something else. See, like right here, you kind of have to decode this using what I said. Like, you have to figure out what the symbols mean throughout the level, and then you can decode it, and it gives you a hint.
Hey, mind if I swing in for a few donations?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yay, we've got $3.33 from our pal Marcy, says third try, Pride Pog. And $20 from SQL. I think this one's for you. Loving the commentary. Have to agree with that. Thanks for the $20.
Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So right here, I knew that was gonna happen. It's when I first played this game, I actually thought that you died when you fell. And the first time that I fell, I had a literal heart attack because I had like 98 notes and I was in that area and I fell and I thought I was going to die, but I actually just voided out. And I was like, oh, it was such a relieving moment. I totally did that on purpose, by the way, to show you that you don't die, you just void out. Yeah, totally did that on purpose. Yeah, there are a lot of punishing falls, though. I mean, for the sake of speedruns, that is punishing, even though you don't die, because you have to make your way all the way back here, which stinks. But hey, if it's too easy, it's not fun, right? Kind of have to do some tricky platforming here. All right, so we have made it to... Look at that, we found him. And instead of being with his son, what is he doing? He's hiding, and he's sleeping. A+ dad, guys. He's an A+ dad. Hanging out with the Foo Fighters, yeah. Alright, so right here, we're in water, but you have to touch the surface in order to get it. You figure that out because there's a hint in this room that you have to decode. It's right there, right in the bottom right there. Just one of the many hints that you have to decode in order to figure out what's going on. Really, just a phenomenal level. I no longer have 69 eggs. I'm sorry. Can't be helped. Alright, so right here, there's a little glitch, actually, that I'm going to perform for you guys. I'm able to swim in the water even when I'm not in the water anymore. I'll show you what I mean by that. So right here, we can get this Jinjo. It forms a Jiggy. And I can actually abuse the swimming to get the Jiggy so that I skip the dance animation. For some reason, I'm not sure why it works, but if you exit the water while you're facing straight down, the game just thinks that you're still in the water. So it's really nice because we're able to get that Jiggy there, and we can skip the dance animation. So this is the final room. Well, this is the second final room. We'll get these notes here. We're just about done with Forest Temple already. I got all the notes. We have one more Jiggy to get. And there's one more puzzle for us to solve. Thankfully, I already know the solution. So right here, I'm not sure if you guys were paying attention at all. It is the same code as the Rusty Bucket Bay code. If you guys remember the Rusty Bucket Bay code at all from Banjo-Kazooie, it's the same exact code. But how you solve this one, the staircase that I was in earlier, there's like little pictures on the wall. If you jump through the pictures, on the opposite side of the pictures are playing cards. So that kind of tells you like what the code is like playing cards tell you. So this right there, what you just saw right there is what I was talking about. That's the same loading zone that I initially entered when I entered this level. So we just abused that to get to this level a different way than intended. But when you die, there's that extra like cutscene, and that was just what Kirko did to solve an issue that he was having. Just like a quick, easy fix. So we will be doing the last secret of this game. One more game reference. I bet you guys can already tell what the game is. But if you couldn't figure it out from that, you can figure it out from this. And as you can see, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but in each of the secrets, there was a resource refill. One of them had blue eggs, one of them had red feathers, and this one has gold feathers. Okay, so you saw the warp, the weird warp, which is what we call it, to Forest Temple. Here is the Gerudo Fortress weird warp that I talked about. It's located in the Lost Woods. So we're gonna do the Lost Woods first. It's actually organized the same way as the Lost Woods is organized in Ocarina of Time. So if you know the direction to go for Ocarina of Time, then you know the direction to go for this game as well. It's the same. So it's actually beneficial to have Ocarina of Time knowledge to play this game, because a lot of things are in fact similar or even the same. Things such as that. We're gonna do another clip here. You saw a couple of these. Oh, well, I don't want to die. All right, I'm just gonna kill him. Okay. So we will have full health. This is the weird warp. It's a whole setup. It's very difficult. So what you have to do is you have to get out of bounds. And to get out of bounds, you kind of have to jump up here. It's not easy. It might look easy, but it's very difficult, actually. It's very precise. Okay, so we got it. So we're technically out of bounds right now. So I'm going to jump over here, flutter, land in the water, and we're going to fall down here, and this will lead us to back to Gerudo Valley, Gerudo Fortress. Just a very weird thing. It's just abusing a extra loading zone that Kirko had to add into the game to fix an issue that he had. Just like the original. Oh! Shoot. I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so this can be recovered, actually. This is okay. There is a hidden flight pad right here.
Hey, we've got $5 from Marcy, who says what we're all thinking. You make it look easy.
Thank you for the $5. We all appreciate it. Alrighty, so we're actually going to do the level this time. So we're not going to be skipping all the notes like I did before. So this is Gerudo Fortress. This is my second favorite level just because of how vast it is compared to the other levels. And it is interesting because I'm pretty sure that it's called Gerudo Valley in Ocarina of Time, but in this game he calls it Gerudo Fortress. when Gerudo Fortress is just the one area of Gerudo Valley. Okay, we missed. I pooped an egg. Alright, that's okay. We do have to wait for a cycle, though. I'll kind of show you how slow this thing moves. Since we missed it, we're going to have to wait for a cycle. Sometimes you just gotta poop an egg. Sometimes you just have to take a break, take a breath, and poop an egg. And then we'll get back into it. Okay, so the tricky part about this level is the wasps. Because the wasps are relentless. They will follow you to the ends of the earth. Once they aggro on you, they will follow you forever. So you kind of have to be careful. And they're very deadly, because they take life at a very fast rate. So we're going to transform back into the broom. We're going to do all of the rest of Gerudo Fortress as the broom, actually. You can do the entire rest of the level. And then we're going to escape once more as the broom. So this is the Spirit Temple. There's a couple of skips that we have in here that I actually discovered myself. We can go in here. The very unfortunate part about this level is the fact that casually, you have to turn back and forth into the broom and banjo a couple of times in order to get all the collectibles. But we have found clips and skips so that we can do the whole thing in one travel, one transformation. So normally you aren't supposed to be able to get that Jiggy in that coffin, or in the initial sarcophagus, but you're able to get it from the back, thankfully, or else we would have to do 2 transformations. And we have this Jinjo right here. It's inside of that chest. And we are able to get it. But it's very, very hard. It's one of the hardest things to do in the game. Because it's just super precise. What he did is he actually made the hitbox to the Jinjo smaller. He actually made it more difficult to get the Jinjo. But it's still possible, as you can see. It just takes a couple of tries. First try, Pog. So, very thankful that you're able to get everything in one trip. Or else this would be a very long level. So yeah, just a lot of work put into the speedrun for this game, between me, Hyper Resonance, Pag, Red J, a couple other people. I put a lot of work into routing and finding tricks and skips, and it's actually turned into quite a cool speedrun. Hopefully, it's kind of piqued your guys' interest a little bit, as much as it's piqued mine. That's sort of why I wanted to play it in front of you guys, so you guys could see just how cool we've made it. If you're interested in speedrunning this game, you can join the community Discord. You can DM me, whatever, Brad, whoever, and we'll try to get you set up. But we do have a Discord, and I'll gladly give that to you. If you're interested in joining it, I will gladly give you invite for the Discord. All right. So far, so good.
Hey, our pal Zanian on twitch.tv/Zanian_ is dropping by with a $25 donation. Says,
Hey.
thanks for a great weekend and congratulations on the funds raised.
Oh, awesome. I do really like the donations coming in. Alrighty, so this is one of the inconsistent whip cracks that I was talking about earlier. It's why we do this level now instead of earlier. We have to, in order to do this level in one trip, one transformation, we have to be able to get these whip cracks as the broom. And we got it first try. Okay, that was actually really good. There's a little setup that Brad and I spent some time coming up with. It made it more consistent, but unfortunately, it's not quite where we want it to be. But that was relatively quick. And I'm really glad, because if you lose too much health, then you have to detransform. And that is a lot of time loss. So I'm actually quite thankful that that was first try. I would say that's probably what I was nervous about the most. In this whole speedrun, I was probably most nervous about, I'd say probably Castletown and this level right here. But both of them have been going very well. This chest is a little tricky. As you can see. We kind of have to run into it at a certain angle. There we go. To get the Jiggy. So there's these pots with notes. I think... Am I missing a note somewhere? Oh no, I'm not. Okay, never mind. No, we're good. We should have 80 here. Absolutely, Glitch Cat, yeah. It's just so detailed. It's just unbelievably detailed. Like, I've said this a couple times now, but you can see the work that was put into this game. It isn't just some thing that he slopped together really quick. You can see and appreciate all the work and the details he put into this game, and it just makes it so incredible. Alrighty, that's the second whip crack Jiggy that we get. It can also be somewhat inconsistent, but it also went okay. So honestly, this overall is a very good Gerudo Fortress. I'm very pleased with it. We'll get the last Jinjo here. And we're almost done already. Believe it or not. It's one of the biggest levels of the game, but it's one of the fastest. Just because you can do it all with the brew. So there's a couple more tricky things I have to do. That clip right there assisted us in finding the first way to do RBA, which is getting the broom out of this level. There's a Jiggy in the rock here that I have to get. There it is. You kind of have to do that blind, but eventually it works. I discovered that you could clip out of bounds there, and we used that to get out of the level. But because of Ring Rush actually found a faster way to escape as the broom, and we call it RRRBA for Ring Rush. Mainly because it's just funny. RRRBA. It's just like a bunch of R's. But it was very helpful that he found a faster way of getting out of the level with the broom, because it saves a lot of time. I will be showing it to you guys pretty shortly here. It's how I'm going to end up escaping. I got turned around somehow. It's weird. Alrighty. So we have all the notes, we have all the Jiggies, we're gonna get this last honeycomb piece, and we're out of here. So this is RRRBA. You can actually walk to the entrance here. I'm gonna line myself up so I don't mess it up. And you can just mash A. And you actually make it. And there it is. So basically what happens is the game tries to de-transform you, but you exit the level before it's able to do so. The downside is that if you mess it up, you unfortunately de-transform. And you have to retransform and then leave again, and that's a big time loss. That basically kills the run. So we're gonna get the rest of the Jiggies from Castletown right now. It's gonna be very quick. There's a Jiggy all the way up here that you typically have to climb up here with Banjo to get. But you can get it as the broom to make some short work of it. That'll refill our health. We got this last Jiggy over here, which you're supposed to get as the bomb bag, actually. Oh, interesting. You're supposed to get this one as the bomb bag, but we don't got time for that. And we are entering the final level of this game. Granny's Castle. Now, you're supposed to go over here to unlock the level, and then the Temple of Time door opens, but, of course, the broom is broken. So we're going to clip through here. Alright, last level. This is one of the more challenging levels. You have to do most of it as the broom. It is not friendly. It is very awkward. There's a couple of very difficult, very inconsistent tricks. There's one coming up here pretty shortly, actually. I'll explain it to you while I'm doing it. This is, I would probably say that this is one of the hardest levels to optimize in terms of doing it with the broom. Just because all of the movement's very hard. So this trick right here, we're going to go out of bounds. The only way for us to get out of bounds as the broom is to clip through this rock. But unfortunately, it's very precise in terms of angle and speed. And when you do clip, if you don't hit A the exact moment that you clip, you will actually enter the loading zone for the area behind the rock. So not only do you have to basically predict when you're going to clip, you also have to clip. And clipping's not easy. This is the hardest part of the entire game, I would say, this clip right here. We're trying to make it more consistent. So far, it's not working. It's just kind of dumb luck. But it's all about your angle. And hopefully I can get it soon. I did practice the heck out of this trick before, starting. And it's really just a matter of when am I going to clip? We're going to have to reset it up. So hopefully this doesn't take too long. If it does, I might need to... Oh, we got it. We got it. Okay. I was starting to sweat a little bit. But yeah, so I clipped, and I immediately had to press A, or else I would have entered the loading zone, and I would have had to redo it. Very, very difficult. It's something that we'll continue working on, trying to make it more consistent, but for now, that's really all we have. But it saves too much time to not do. It basically saves us from having to do the transformation for this level. The transformation for this level is actually a frozen beverage. It is the slowest transformation in the whole game. And because this level is one of the biggest levels in the game, and it has one of the slowest transformations, having to transform is very slow. So, since we figured out that we could clip out of bounds there like that, it's hard, but it's a necessity, unfortunately. So we're gonna clip out of bounds a couple times in this area. I'm actually very pleased with this run. It's not great. We're on a 224 pace right now. My PB is a 217, a high 217. But for a marathon run, this is really not bad at all. I was expecting worse, to be honest. I was like almost afraid that maybe like putting 230 as my estimate may have been not lenient enough, but so far nothing traumatic has happened. If you know anything about Banjo-Kazooie speedruns, things can get very traumatic very quickly. I do appreciate having this opportunity to do this, for sure. I've honestly wanted to play this game in front of like a larger audience ever since I started playing it, just because I think it needs more exposure. I think that Kirko needs a lot more credit for this game, and I just think that the game itself just needs a lot more exposure than it has. Just because I personally think that it's phenomenal. And other people think so too, so... don't go. Okay. But yeah, really cool that I was able to play this game in front of you guys. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. So we're gonna clip out of bounds. We're gonna clip to the toilet here. And the toilet is a separate area. You're supposed to enter it as the frozen beverage transformation, but we can do this and get in there. So this is where Mumbo is. I would show you guys the transformation because it's kind of cute, but unfortunately I don't think we have enough time for that. Plus, I would lose the broom if I were to do that. I am going to get more health. I don't like the fact that I have 1 health here. I'm gonna try to get health anyway. The game wants to cooperate. There we go. Okay. We're just kind of making our way around. You're supposed to do all this section as the transformation, but obviously that is very slow. So we do it as the broom instead to make things a little quicker. Speedruns, after all. I don't think I need another. I'll get it. I'll get it. Just you don't ever know what's gonna happen. Oops. I actually forgot that was the last Jinjo for a second. Okay. So we're gonna go out of bounds one more time and go underneath. There's a whole area underneath that's frozen, and you're only supposed to access it as the transformation. But I'm down here as the broom. The only downside is if I jump or get hit by an enemy, I will hit enough height so that the broom will get stuck. And I will not be able to collect the rest of these notes. So right here, you need to be careful that you don't take damage. Or else it kicks you. Okay, we're good. Because so like right now, I can't go down anymore. I'm stuck where I am, which means I can't collect anything. The only way to get out is to do that. So if you get hit by an enemy, you unfortunately have to clip out and then do everything I just did all over again. You have to fly back out of bounds, go underneath, and then go around. So it's really slow. But we are done with the broom, though. The rest of the level will be done as Banjo. And Kazooie. I feel like people don't give Kazooie enough credit. You're supposed to use the transformation to get into here, but I discovered that you can do a couple of beak barges to clip through. Just like that. Da, 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 da. If you remember the Twinklies from Banjo-Kazooie, they are back for some more fun. And normally you're supposed to protect them by killing these things, but you can just kill that one and then move over here and zoom your camera in. And because the enemies aren't in the camera's view, they are there, but they're deloaded. So the Twinklies can just move right through them. This is a strat that's also used in the vanilla Banjo-Kazooie game. Same kind of strat you do in the Pikmin games. I'm actually not familiar with the Pikmin speedruns, but I'll take your word for it. I've only ever played the first Pikmin game casually. But I did like it. They don't exist if you can't see them. It's just like the monsters under my bed. They can't hurt me if my body's covered by the blankets. Oh, really, Marcy? Cool. I actually did watch a couple of Pikmin 3 speedruns. 360 Chrism. I watched him do a couple of Pikmin 3 speedruns. But that's really the only time that I ever watched Pikmin 3. Or that I ever watched Pikmin speedruns, I mean. Okay, so we'll Beak Bomb through the star. It is very pretty. And the music is cool too. It is a little laggier than the other levels, but I mean, there's just a lot going on. Alright, so we had to beak bomb those 3 I buttons in order to spawn that Jiggy. We'll get it later. It'll actually be the 10th Jiggy that we get. And if you aren't familiar with I think that's all the notes. If you aren't familiar with the Banjo-Kazooie speedrun, when you collect a Jiggy, I should have mentioned this earlier. When you collect a Jiggy, there's a certain Jiggy Jig dance that you have to go through. But if you collect a Jiggy as a transformation, if you collect a Jiggy while you're in flight, this specific animation right here, you can skip that animation if you collect a Jiggy while you're in flight, if you collect a Jiggy while you're in transformation, or if you collect a Jiggy while you're swimming. And the 10th Jiggy in each level, there's an additional Jiggy Jig. So you want to try to collect the 10th Jiggy in each level in one of those ways that I mentioned. Because it skips not only the Jiggy Jig, but the 10th Jiggy Jig as well. And we will be collecting the 10th Jiggy in this level in flight. So notice how I'm not dancing. Just one of the speed techs for this game. All right. Well, we just got 2 more notes here, and then we will be moving on to the final boss. This has been super, super fun. As I said, I very much appreciate this opportunity to do this. But we are reaching the finale here. There's one more thing we have to do. We have to open the door of Grunny, and then we have to make the 2-minute long trek up the never-ending staircase. And I am not kidding. It is 2 minutes. So this would be a good time for any donations that we have, if we have any. If not, we will just sit back and enjoy ourselves as we make the ascension.
We can just sit back and enjoy ourselves. This has been a very comfy run so far. I don't have anything to read, but I will remind everybody that we are at $4,257.53, which there's not really any fun gamer numbers in there. We're looking for 5,000 so that we can see Umar run 100 rooms of Kuso during the Cape block a little bit later. Stay comfy and get us something to read sometime.
Thank you very much for that. We're like halfway up there. Unfortunately, we cannot BLJ up these staircases. If we could, that would be pretty phenomenal. Maybe someone can recommend to Kirko that he adds a BLJ in the next patch for this game. Broom long jump? Ah, yes, of course. Of course. Alrighty, so we're here. That's Dingpot. So the final fight is exactly the same as the final fight for the Banjo-Kazooie game. The only difference is that there is an obnoxious amount of lag to go along with it. Some say it's annoying. some say that it adds a degree of difficulty to the fight.
We do have a couple of donations real quick to get us ready. Marcy with the $5 says, "Brew, brew." Confetti Biscuits with the 1216. Kuso, let it be done. And Mr. Mighty Mouse, who will be running pretty soon with the $50. No message, but donation speaks loud and clear. Thank you.
Wow. Very generous. I did see someone donate, what, like $1,000 earlier today? I was like, wow. That is a generous donation. Alrighty, so we're gonna be beak bombing into her at tremendous speeds. And she has so much fat on her that it just protects her. Oh, I missed. That's alright. We'll get her right here. Nope, missed again. We'll get her right here. Okay. So we're going to try to do a little skip here. It's not easy. Let's see if we can get it. I think this might work. A little bit too far to the right. So you can actually poop eggs into that statue, and it skips the animation. I'll show you the animation here. So there's this animation right here. There's this cutscene that you can skip. Because this cutscene plays while the cutscene for the other statues forming also plays. It's just like overlapping cutscenes together. We're going to try to activate these statues by shooting 3 eggs into them. Alrighty. Ah, I missed. Okay, there we go. The floor is uneven. It makes it somewhat tricky to activate those statues because it's possible to be too high, like what just happened there with me with that last statue. I was actually too high because the floor is uneven. It's a little unfortunate, but I mean, it's just a couple seconds of time loss. Alrighty, so this is the final statue. Time will end when the final egg goes into the statue. I have to shoot 12 eggs total. Or, sorry, I have to shoot 15 eggs total into the statue. So we're just going to make our way through. Alright, time will end right now. And there you go. So that is the run. We're gonna watch this final cutscene here. If we have enough time for there's a little credit section that I also want to show the chat. Just to kind of call out the people that are involved making this game. So we'll just watch this cutscene really quickly. The Ginginator is doing its final attacks on Madam Grunty. As you can see, he is relentless.
Well, hey there, great run. We've got some celebration donations. If you want to get yours in, now's the time. $5 from Marcy. Yeah. Great run and great job.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the GGs, guys. Glad you guys had fun. I had a lot of fun, too. This is actually the first time that I've ever done a speedrun for a marathon like this. This is actually a really cool experience for me. I'm glad that the run wasn't atrocious. It was only 7 minutes behind my PB. So here we got Grunny falling to her death, getting crushed by a rock. And you see Mumbo standing next to her, dusting the earth. I don't really know what he's doing, but he's just trying to contribute to society, I guess. Alrighty, so here are the credits. I just want to show these off really quickly. This is just showing all the people that were involved in the writing, the hacking, sounds, music, all these people. And then here are testers. As you can see, me and Haginator are both on there as well. He gave us beta versions of this game to test as he was developing it. So we could kind of play it, give him feedback, tell him what's right, tell him what's not right. But yeah, and then we have one final thing here. Of course, it can't be a Legend of Zelda game without a Triforce, so we'll collect it. And there you have it. One quick extra shout out for Kirko Mods, Mark Kirko, for making this amazing game. And thank you for giving me this experience one last time. I appreciate it. There it is. That is The Legend of Banjo-Kazooie Jiggies of Time, 100%.
Thank you so much for an excellent run. That was really, really great, really comfy, lots of fun. That was super cool. That was the first time I've seen that whole game played straight through. Really appreciate the 100% too. So
Yeah.
to see all the different stuff. Great skills. Give him a round of applause, chat. That was really, really impressive. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, we gotta get some. We gotta get like a sitcom. We gotta get like the applause.
Give me a clap. Give me the clap in chat, guys. Come on. Give me the claps.
Very good. Well, there's still more Hack Attack to come, and we are still here raising money for Direct Relief, one of the best charities in the whole wide world, and friends of the Mario and ROM hacking communities at large. We are currently sitting on $3,329 and a very nice 69 cents. We're looking for 5,000, as you might have heard, to get 100 rooms of Kuso from Umar a little bit later in the night. That's going to be during the Cape block. And when Dog and I were getting the schedule together, we were so excited. We said, let's have a Cape block. It's going to be great. But before we do, next run coming up is going to be a special one. We've got Mini Kaizo Bros 3 with our friend Jabum running 100%. That's going to be excellent. Get ready to see some mind-blowing Super Mario 3 stuff. And I will actually still be hanging around because I'll be commentating with Jabum, but we're going to throw it over to a special guest host. Please give her the same respect you would give me. You may have heard her before. She is very kind and cool. We're going to say hey to Sky Bills, who is going to be hosting for this next one. And I believe we're just going to take a little break and get set up. And we will see you all again very, very soon.
All right. See you guys. Good luck.